Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town of Chenango Town Board meeting. Will you please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to our flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Simonis?
Here.
Mr. Hulbert?
Here.
Sorry, Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Wharton?
Here. Mr. Clerk, communications?
Yeah, I'd just like to remind the board about the appealed FOIL request and ask how they would like to handle that tonight. That's all I have.
Okay. Go right to open forum. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion or limited to remarks of 5 minutes or less. The speaker shall deliver their comments or concerns in a civil tone and without the use of profanity, personal attacks, or other disruptive behavior, which may result in the offender's removal from the meeting. The speaker shall not be interrupted except in a matter of urgency. Would anybody like to speak tonight? Please come up to the mic if you do.
My name is Scott Saladay. I just want to read something that's been a concern to me for the past 5 years. It's with the Chenango Ambulance Service, and so I want to share something with you and people in the community. About 5 years ago, Chenango Ambulance was roughly 30 days away from foreclosure on their new building. It was nearly bankrupt, barely covering 40% of its calls. It had about $700 left in its bank account, and the agency failed to pay the workers' comp insurance, liability insurance, both of which were about to be canceled. After noticing bounce checks and realizing how serious the problem was, I began to ask questions and uncover the truth. After speaking with the bank, the board, and the membership, it was voted that the current board would step down and that I would assume control to rebuild the service. Once that happened, nearly every medic, every volunteer walked away when I took over. All the medics, all the paramedics that serve this community walked away. So for about 2 months, I was the only paramedic left, working with just 3 volunteers, 3 drivers. Together, we covered 97% of the calls, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That equals roughly 1,500 hours a month, just under 3,000 hours over 2 months, and nearly 120 days of continuous coverage. I was there to save lives and care for the sick and injured and vulnerable residents in the town. So for 30 years of my service in that community, in this community, and for that volunteer agency, I committed myself to that agency. So during that time, I generated roughly $17,000 in revenue, and I kept the ambulance alive. When others returned, they came back after I couldn't do it anymore. I had to walk away from it because it was a lot to do for one person. A lot. So I walked away. I contacted the state and the county, and they came in and set up a plan where other ambulances would come in and cover calls because I could not do it anymore, just myself. So after I walked away, the board that stepped down and resigned came back, and they called a meeting, and they threw me out. They blackballed me from the agency and said they're going to call the police on me if I show up, if I come back, and they're going to suspend me until they come up with criminal charges against me. So the people that they had at that meeting were people who not even knew who I was or knew what I did. They called people on the list that they had that never even volunteered down there. So they called a meeting, they permanently threw me out, never allowed me to speak or explain my side, which the Constitution allows you to do. So back then I was judged not by my words or actions, but by what was said about me in my absence. Now, years later, I replied to volunteer again. I'm still a paramedic. The response I received from Chief Jeff Allen was, stop applying, don't show up on our calls, and stay off the property. This is 5 years ago. They should be coming to me and asking me to volunteer, not me asking to volunteer to them. So I'm still being judged today by people who don't know me, don't know what really happened, and don't understand what I did to keep the ambulance service alive. I live here. My investment is different because this is my community. I thought that more than 3 to 5 active members at Chenango Ambulance even lived in that in the town of Chenango. These folks that volunteer coming from out of town, they come, they get paid, and then they go back to where they live, where they're from SUNY. They don't spend a lot of time there, so their investment's different than mine. So, the decision to blackball me are being made by people who are not invested, as I am, in the community and understand what this community needs. The choice to ban me is not just unfair to me, it's unfair to the community. No decision based on personal grudges should ever interfere with providing medical care to residents in need. When somebody is having a heart attack, a stroke, or a life-threatening emergency, personal disputes should not decide who responds to help. So I continue to listen to calls being missed, no medic, no driver, and families are waiting for an ambulance that never comes on time. Yet I'm told not to apply, do not help, and stay away. So that's not right for me, and certainly not for the people of this community. So, I don't know how much time I had, but time's out at 5 minutes, so,
25 seconds.
seconds?
Yep,
Oh.
25 seconds.
Okay, so I think the town should look into a municipal paramedic service. You could generate anywhere from $600,000 to $1.2 million, have a paid 24/7 professional ambulance service in the community, because eventually I think the state is going to necessity, just like the fire is. You have to pay the volunteers, the ambulance to be here. So instead of paying them for hit and miss calls,
That's your time.
you could pay for 24/7 here in the community, generate money for the town.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks.
for your
Thank you.
comments. Anyone else?
Can you hear me? I didn't get everything printed early enough, so I didn't get to go through it all, but the professional services agreement that you're doing with Colliers Engineering, just a quick review of it, I found a couple things that I think should be looked at. I think you should have an exact completion date, and I think you should also have a penalty if they don't meet that completion date. You put it about, they're gonna do it months later. You need a completion date and a penalty if they don't get it done by that date. Otherwise, you're looking at probably a year and a half, 2 years. Also, the insurance that they're gonna provide, I think you should have a $5 million umbrella. They're gonna be walking the properties and so forth in the town, is that correct? Okay, if they're doing that, then you should have a $5 million umbrella, just to protect the town and the residents in the town. Also, my second thing is, if anybody wants to, they can go out to the website of Town of Cincinnati, and what they did was they have now put into place where they are not going to abide by Governor Hochul's rules about all electric new homes. They've gone ahead and eliminated that, and I think it's a great thing to do. You're gonna see less and less new homes in areas, and every little town needs more residents to keep up with the taxes. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Good afternoon. Steve Obrowski again, Chenango Forks, or Chenango Bridge Fire Department. I just wanted to ask real quick one. First, thank you guys for working with us on the budget. But I'm asking that when you go through the budget that you correct the one line item under Fire District 1 for the 2025 adopted budget. It's got an incorrect number in there. So if you guys could correct that to the 331,944, that way down the future when people look at it, it'll be accurate. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna move along. Old business, 5.1, council member application pool selection. We have 4 applicants for the board. You wanna do the same thing we did last time?
So we're just deciding the process tonight? We're not doing any presentations tonight?
Well, we'd have to notify them to come
Okay.
before us. They haven't been notified to come, so. We accepted the applications by the deadline, and we have 4. So,
I was happy with the previous process. That's how we got Jay. I like him. So, that's my thoughts.
okay, what meeting would you like to do it at? We have a meeting on the 26th and a meeting on December 10th.
How about the next one?
That's the 26th. Okay, you heard from Dave. Anybody else have some comments?
That's because we're supposed to have the budget done by then, right?
Huh?
We have the budget done by then? So I was thinking about other things on the calendar, on the
The
agenda.
budget will be done, has to be adopted by the 20th, so.
Yeah.
I'm good with that process. We'll go ahead and notify the candidates and have them come in on the 26th.
Gene?
Yeah, I just think, I'm fine with that, so if somebody makes a motion, and so we can do that.
I make a
But
mo-
all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, that was your process last time.
It was, but it was just, we didn't pair them or cull them before, but we've got 4, and my opinion is that we should do all 4. That's all.
I make a motion at the next meeting, we have the interview for the vacant town board position.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
None.
I have none.
None.
Do you want the same format as last time, have them present to the board why they want to be on the board?
Mhm.
Or is the board going to be doing questions? Just the same format?
Presentation,
Yep.
questions, yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay.
I want to say one more thing. Where do they pick up the applications for that position? Is it here at the town, or do they have to go to the county?
No, here.
They come see me. Sometimes you can access it on the website. A lot of people do that.
I'm
You can
just,
get it from the county as well.
I'm just wondering that some of the candidates had their past salaries, and some didn't. I don't need to know that.
No.
I don't know why this past salaries was even on the application.
It's
I
just
think it's just a
Borough County.
generic application, right. You're right, that information didn't need to be there, but it's just generic.
So I don't want to see it again,
Okay.
if possible.
All right, moving on. 5.2, comprehensive plan contract. Nate, we good?
I'm fine with it on our end. I mean, you had heard the public comment. I know the Colliers would probably put back on a hard deadline for completion of it because a lot of it depends on community engagement and the Chenango committee that you appoint and their efforts at completing it as well. So, but if that's something that you folks want to pursue, we can certainly do that. And then the insurance requirements, I'm not sure that they would be walking the town of Chenango, but that's certainly if you want to require more insurance, you can. You'd probably want to consult with your insurance agent about what would be an appropriate amount.
Well, we had already done that, so we had already asked, I don't remember whose task or whose bucket it was in to coordinate with the insurance, but we got the recommendations.
We did. It was a question that I had brought up earlier, and I did see the recommendation that came back. So you're right. That,
Did it, and we had talked about it, if it needed an addendum because the RFP had already gone out, that we were gonna change those insurance.
in an addendum.
I think you're, because this is a comprehensive plan, you're thinking of the attorney,
RFP.
engineer, CPA, insurance agent one, and we did do an addendum after that for those services, but this is the comp plan contract. So there was no addendum that went out
This
after
was
that one.
before that.
Right.
So did these insurance requirements match what was issued as a recommendation from our carrier or our agent?
Let me just pull it up again. Yes, this is the same form actually that we used for the other professional services.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Nick Spencer's recommendation was that the coverages should basically match your limits as well. And so your umbrella, I believe, is also 4 million, which is what these folks are providing for their umbrella.
As it relates to the schedule, I believe we've got to have a hard date on that, because if the scope changes, then the timeline changes. But if there's no changes in that, everybody has got to know that we've got deadlines to meet, and things can't slide just for no reason. But I don't really see because the schedule that was presented in here was October of 2025 with no EIS. So I understood this as October 25th deadline.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at does say within 12 months, no EIS, yes. It's
But I also don't want any wiggle room or any ambiguity on that. So Nate, I'm asking you, is that clear enough in this contract, the way that it's written, that the 12-month time frame is solid?
I think prior to signing it, we'll want to, because obviously it's not October 25 anymore. So it will need to be updated to reference November, whatever date that we have for it as the date. If we want to pick, instead of just saying 12 months later, 12 months I believe is enforceable. You know, any lay person can clearly understand what 12 months from the date of signing is. But we can put a specific date. You know, it'll be November, I'm just going to say November 15th, 2026. That's the same thing as saying 12 months from now, but for purposes of clarity, to the extent folks have concerns, I don't have an issue with that. I'd be surprised if Colliers had a concern about that as well. You know, I just think what I said earlier is also true. A lot of this depends on the involvement of the town's committee in timely providing input, feedback to Colliers so that Colliers can complete their work. I've got another client right now who was supposed to approve their comprehensive plan draft. The committee's recommendation to the town board at a meeting last week. That committee felt they needed more time and have now given themselves 5 more months to do it. So.
But that's driven by us. That's,
Right.
you're right. We have an obligation within this timeline that I'm looking at, and they have said in this contract within a 12-month time frame. So I would like to put a hard date to it.
Okay.
November 15th is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it saying October, because it is predicated on a 12-month completion time schedule, and this was proposed to start in October, but we didn't approve it in October when we had it originally slated. So, however it gets fixed, but 12 months is where I think it needs to stand.
Okay. So I'll reach out to Colliers, assuming you folks otherwise approve it tonight with that understanding, and then, because they've sent it by DocuSign to Kevin to sign.
About 100 times.
At least twice. But, so there's an opportunity to update it, and then, you know, with that tweak, and then circulating to Kevin, that shouldn't be an issue by the 15th, I think.
They should update the name on it too. It still has previous supervisor
Oh,
on
right.
it.
Yep.
So.
We're good with that?
Yes.
Good.
Yep. Okay. 5.3, Bookkeeper Senior Account Clerk recommendations. We did our last interview today at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, this afternoon we did an interview with the last candidate that we had. I think the 3 of us had liked her. I had reached out to one of her previous employers. Said they were a very detailed employee. They had worked there about 10 years ago. and obviously have had several positions, advancement positions over the past 10. So, we will be recommending to make an offer to that applicant. Like I said, we did that interview today, 3 o'clock, so we'll send, a letter, or email out to the board members stating our recommendation and why.
So how do you wanna handle that? Do you wanna wait till another meeting to approve to make the offer, or? I sent the applications to Dave and Jean, the last one we did today, but it was by email after the interview, so, cause they weren't attached to the first round of.
How many interviews did you?
So we had a
wound up
total,
doing-
we had a total of 6. We had 3 that confirmed and then 2 that only showed up, and then we had this last one. that-
Total of 3
so
we
a total
interviewed.
of 3 out of the 6.
Okay.
So you feel pretty confident about this person has the abilities to do the job?
Yes,
I'm willing to move ahead. Like I said, I haven't seen the data, but that's why we have you people interview it for us. So I'm willing to send out the offer, but that's me.
I think that we should be following our process, presenting the information, the recommendation, and then having the board see all of that information and then
Sure,
move
push it
forward.
off another 2 weeks, that's fine.
Does
Let's move on.
she feel that she's gonna hang on long enough for us to go through our process?
I think so.
Okay.
Good. 5.4, RFP for gas and electric services.
You'll see 2 bids there. The electric one is complete. The gas one, I do need to actually review a NICEAG bill. I'd asked Jody, I think, to send me one, but haven't gotten it yet. So I anticipate updating that tomorrow. The reason is the exhibit, just referencing how we want their proposals to actually come in for gas supply, because gas is supplied at a different basis than electricity, of course. But assuming that I get that updated tomorrow, I don't see any issue with otherwise putting them both out for publication and seeing what responses you get.
What was the changes that you were gonna make in the gas?
So the last page,
Okay.
the price proposal form for natural gas supply, that's the electric version. And I have to update it for gas. I just didn't know off the top of my head how gas comes in units. The anticipation though is we want 3 options, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Give us your pricing on all of them, and then you folks get to pick which term you want.
Okay.
You folks all right with us publishing these notices?
I am.
I'm
Yes.
fine.
Yep, we need to get them out.
Okay. And then are you all right with the return date of December 10th? The idea being we'd open them up that evening, read them aloud at the beginning of the meeting for communications, then we know what the pricing is, and you can make a decision that night. There shouldn't be too much to negotiate over.
Nope, that sounds good.
So you're gonna receive them by 3, but not open them until
5.
5? Okay.
Dave, you okay
I'm
with
okay with that.
Okay.
As long as it follows procedure.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, 5.5, wastewater treatment plant updates.
The payment applications are self-explanatory, and they're included as the monthly board update from Bartle and Judas.
Anybody have any questions on that?
don't have any.
I have none.
None.
Okay, 5.6, Assessor's Assistant Update, Appointment Update. Everybody see the information on there that Catherine sent us?
Yep.
She would like to offer the position to this person?
So, I thought the last conversation we had was she was going to interview and didn't we authorize her to offer a position?
Yep. To the two people that she offered the position to, and they did not take it. This was her third choice.
Okay. So same kind of decision. We need to authorize her to offer the position, or did she already offer it? I'm
This
confused
person is
from how
willing
it's-
to take the position, but I don't think it's been formally, I mean, we haven't approved it.
That's what that's
Okay.
where I'm getting at. Okay.
And that's what she's looking for approval by the board.
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with it.
Do we need a motion?
Do the motion to hire her after she accepts it? Authorize her to offer it?
Okay.
Did we do it as a motion last time? I really don't remember.
I think it was, you mean when you hired or when you
No.
offered?
The
I think you
problem
did a
was, even if we
motion.
did it as a motion last time, it didn't have the right names. This is the third person that wasn't, so I think we need to do that. We need to go through that procedure again.
And that's fine. If we did it by motion before, that's why I was asking
Yes,
to do
then
it
it
now.
wouldn't be correct, because this name wasn't involved in the last time, because
Okay.
the other two, so we need to make a motion.
Then I'll make a motion to authorize Catherine to offer the position for the assessor clerk at the proposed rate of $25 per hour for 8 hours per week for up to 32 weeks. 36 weeks.
36,
Apologize,
36.
correct that, up for 36 weeks.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 None?
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, we're gonna move, what time is it? Oh, we got lots of time. Right to new business then. We're gonna move past public hearing, which will come back at 6 PM. Go 7.1 wastewater treatment change order, which we're gonna push off to 11/26, correct? It was still on the agenda, but I don't think we had the information.
I believe you're correct.
Okay, so that's gonna be moved to 11/26. 7.2 solar moratorium discussion. It's the local law moratorium. Everybody review it? Changes, comments? Okay, looks good then.
Well, I know we've had conversations about the energy system issue, and I see this being a really complicated and possibly have some exposure on our end to do it when we are limiting this to just solar. And the last time that we went through the moratorium for the energy development, it was for all energy development and not just solar. So I think we need to be really careful and cautious about limiting this to solar. Because we had everything else in that. We had wind and solar and all other types of for the energy issues. So, and I'm not really sure what this goal is giving us. what is the goal of this moratorium when our energy development laws are not just for solar?
I'm okay with that, and the goal here is to make amendments to that specific law that does capture energy development within the town.
And I think that's the disconnect.
And that's okay. I understand what you're saying, and for me, it is all about industrial energy development, for sure. All right, because that's the way I view it. When I look at a solar field, that is a commercial field, and it's done on an industrial basis. And I'm okay to include those other energy systems, because all I'm doing and looking at is the local law that's there, and I'm making amendments to that to submit to the board for discussion and to work with Nate on those. So to include that, it is fine. You know, when we look at some of this, because I did read through all of it, and at first I was a little concerned that we were making a limitation to someone that wanted to put solar panels at their house or on their roof. And I don't have any issue with that. This is, to me, this is all about commercial development or the industrial development of energy. So I'm okay to make those changes to that. And for me, this is all about taking the opportunity to amend our current law, not necessarily, I mean, it could be part of the new comprehensive law, but, you know, to have that language in there as well, I'm not sure why it was there. Maybe it was a template. But again, I agree with you, Gene. I'm good to encompass all of it because I do think it includes everything.
That would just change this significant enough that to include it all.
Well, I think you need
'Cause-
battery storage in there too.
And it
Well,
does,
yeah.
and it does it right, because we do need to address that. But to your point, in section 4, it identifies solar energy equipment and solar energy activities, which are defined in here. But again, there are other elements of energy generation, if you will, that should be addressed.
And should be in the moratorium.
And they should be part of the moratorium. I agree.
If you want a broader energy moratorium, we can certainly do that. You folks had discussed solar. And
I don't think it was, and I don't think what you gave us was anything different than what you were asked to. But it should reflect what our current law is and include all of those.
I believe your renewable energy systems law, isn't it just about solar?
No, it's wind, it's solar, it's battery storage, or, I'm sorry. Well, I don't wanna get into that. I know it's not regulated to solar. So, I think that's just,
I'm not seeing an article about wind energy in your renewable energy law. Maybe I'm overlooking it.
I don't think so, because I do think it had.
I'm doing a word search for the word wind in
well,
chapter 67.
that's where it's not. It's the terminology in the local law is not specific for solar or wind. It is it's for the whole discipline. And it's not for solar, just for solar. So I just don't want to be inconsistent with it. And I don't want to discriminate against one market sector of the energy development.
Do you want to have an attorney-client session on this? You know, I feel like there maybe is a conversation to have with me about what you're asking and advice I could give you.
Sure.
Because this specific chapter says renewable energy systems and specifically talks about commercial solar systems. That's the one that I'm reading.
I don't need the attorney-client. There's nothing that you're gonna say out there that you couldn't say here, for me, so.
Say it.
Well, and so, people will be like, well, Nate said this, but, a solar moratorium on its own, I believe, is very defensible. I don't believe you need to put a moratorium on all energy development within the town. I'll use a hypothetical.
Well, let's just confine it to the legal portion of it. That's
Well,
all.
and I think the hypothetical helps, right? You're concerned about discriminating against energy development.
No, about specifically solar farms.
Right, and what I'm saying is I believe you can put a moratorium specifically on solar farms without also putting a moratorium on other types of energy development, which is the concern that I think you expressed, that this is discriminatory against a particular type of energy production.
But there isn't anything in here regarding wind.
Correct. Right, this is just a moratorium on solar, which I believe you can do. I
But
don't believe it needs,
there isn't any local law that I saw regarding wind.
in your town, correct, there is no energy, not that I'm seeing in your code. I do not see that you've regulated wind turbines.
So maybe we should incorporate that.
If you want to, we can. That's okay, but I think the concern that Gene has expressed is we have to. I don't believe that you have to. If you want to move forward with the solar moratorium on its own as it is, I think you can. If you want to include at a later date a wind energy moratorium and a battery energy storage system moratorium, we can do those too. One does not have to happen with the other at the same time.
That's fine, but do we need a moratorium to address those?
So often a moratorium.
I'm talking about the battery and the wind.
Yeah, often a moratorium is put in place because there's a concern about that development occurring within your town in a way that is not regulated. Wind seems like an unlikely development within the town of Chenango. As far as I know, this is not an area where,
I don't want to get into unlikelies.
And-
I want to zero out the exposure.
and again, I'm gonna use the hypothetical. We don't need a moratorium on offshore oil drilling in the town of Chenango because we don't have it here. We don't need a moratorium on fracking because it's not allowed here. So I ask you, do you need a moratorium on wind development if it's unlikely or highly unlikely that
Solar
wind
used to be
development?
unlikely too.
So solar
Solar
is,
used to be unlikely.
and solar,
And I think that
I-
the political climate made it so it was likely. And I think the same could happen for battery storage and wind.
what I'm saying to you is not that it has to happen, whether you put a moratorium in place is a policy decision. I'm not here to sway you one way or the other to do one or not. What I'm telling you is you have an option. You can proceed with the solar moratorium as it is, and we can also put together moratoriums on other things if that's what you folks want. If you want to do it all together in one, then you can. That
Would
will
they be
mean-
included in a separate law or under this chapter, renewable energy systems? It would just be part of this chapter?
The moratorium,
I'm talking about the law regarding wind or battery storage.
it'll be wherever you want it in the code.
Yeah, we're talking about the moratorium right now. Which way do you want it? Do you
I want to move forward with the solar moratorium as it is,
and then add the other ones?
yes.
Dave?
So you're saying we might have some legal risks from the other energy companies if we don't do it all together at the same time? Is that what you're after, Gene? Even though it might be a couple
That's-
days or a
that's-
couple months or
that's my concern.
6 months?
That's my concern.
As long as we're not treating them all equal at the same time.
Right.
They're not being treated equal now. There's actually no regulations regarding wind or battery storage
Yeah,
today.
I agree. I agree. I'm not a lawyer. I'm willing to start with the solar process right now, but I don't see a problem with including the other energy sources quickly also. 'Cause we're gonna be dealing with the same verbiage, the same language, the same everything for all the three. Then again, I don't feel bad combining everything at the beginning also. To me, it's a 50-50. But we're gonna have a year moratorium, is that what it is?
12 months, right?
So I think we can get everything, well, I'm talking myself into a different, I'm for doing everything all together to get it done in a year. All the sources. As long as solar is included at the very beginning and we get them all done.
Well, we can get them all done, but they don't have to be wrapped in the same resolution regarding the moratorium.
I don't care.
Well, Dave, I think, here's me assuming, you guys will do what you want, but I'm assuming there will be some sort of a working group put together to review your solar law. If you folks want to do wind and battery energy storage moratoria as well, I assume that same working group's gonna get tasked with it. So when you adopt your solar moratorium, assuming you do, and you create that group, you can task them with updating or adopting, proposing a wind energy law and a battery energy storage law as well, right? And give them 12 months or however long for them to do it, while you also enact the moratoria preventing those types of developments. So like, I think what you're expressing is you'd like to see it all done in the same period of time.
Well,
That can happen.
You provided this moratorium for solar within a week after we started talking about it.
Yep.
How soon can you have another headline on something else with the other energy sources?
Certainly,
In a week?
certainly by
Or-
November 26th. If you wanted it in a week, sure. If you want it Friday, I'll try my best.
I'm just looking to move forward to get the public hearing scheduled here before the end of the year. And as it is now on this resolution, the public hearing regarding this moratorium would be December 10th if we approve it tonight.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what the lawyer says, but I also hear what Gene is saying. The likelihood of having wind companies complaining about this, because we are kind of unlikely compared to solar now. So I guess these guys hear me flip-flopping back and forth here a little bit. I'm okay with doing the solar moratorium right now tonight, and we get the other things together within our next meeting. Is that? Give me another 30 seconds and I'll say something different, okay? But that's what I'm saying right now, okay? And I'll take the chance that we're not gonna be sued with Gene's concern over the next 2 weeks.
Do you have any other comments, Gene?
I just think some consideration should be, if it's 2 weeks, then that's not a big hardship on getting it inclusive. If we were talking about 3 months, that's a different situation on the schedule for me. The issue with putting together an advisory committee or even a board committee on going through those laws, that's a lot of work. And to piecemeal that together on a group and then add something else to them later on and duplicating that work doesn't seem to me to be an efficient process, or fair or reasonable to ask somebody to redo that work when they've got to go through that energy law once. So that's my only comment.
I just see them as two different things, just because of the way the law was written. The law that we currently have written is specifically around solar. And my driver to this is I would like to see this public hearing happen before the end of the year, which would be December 10th. Because if we don't, the earliest we'd be able to do that is January 7th or the 21st. I do see them as two separate issues, just because there's nothing that exists today regarding wind or battery storage. Are there portions of that law that can be used, to kind of save time, if you will. But I just see them as two very, very different issues, just because of the urgency of what's before us.
Yeah, I just keep going back to what the moratorium was that we did a few years ago. And the way it encompassed it all, we can work through the solar and get that ticked off. We can work through the battery storage, get that ticked off. But the wording of the moratorium is what I'm concerned about, because it is specific to solar, and it's not
I
specific to
understand what you're
energy
saying,
development.
but from advice from council, I'm gonna have to say that I'm okay keeping them separated. I don't see the issue unless council tells me differently.
That was the advice from the last council on why we worded the moratorium the way that it was. So I'm not gonna get into repeating myself.
So where we at, Kevin?
There's we have the resolution at the end, right?
Yeah, there's a resolution at the end, so you can, this was discussion on it. So, some good discussion on it. So when the resolution comes up, you vote the way you vote. Okay? We're good with that, or you want to discuss it some more?
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Yep, move on.
All right, 7.3. We still have time, yep. 7.3, Fire Districts 1 and 2 and lighting public hearing schedule.
So we're required to hold public hearings on fire contracts. So it's arguably fire contracts for fire districts, fire protection districts 1 and 2. We need to have those public hearings prior to you signing the contracts. And then this lighting district public hearing, I've looked at it. I'm not aware that you need a public hearing to approve your lighting district budget. You're not raising funds for the lighting district on a benefit assessment basis, which is what we're doing for the sewer district with the EDU assessment. You are taxing the individuals within the lighting district, the property owners within the lighting district on a normal property tax basis, which is included in your budget, which is the point of the budget hearing that you started on November 6th and are continuing tonight. So I don't believe that you need a separate lighting district public hearing. I don't recall one from the prior year. I don't recall one from 2 years ago. I mean, unless you guys specifically remember having one, I just don't see where we need it at this point. But you do
I
need
don't-
one for the fire contracts.
I'm not interested in repeating bad behaviors or not doing a public hearing because we haven't done it in the past. I want to know if we're required to have one.
I'm not aware of a requirement because we're levying these on the normal property tax basis. It's so many dollars per thousand. It's not based on a benefit assessment, which does require a separate procedure.
So is that a yes or a no?
No, you don't need a separate public hearing on the lighting district budget.
Okay.
So when are you going to do Fire Districts 1 and 2? When your proposal?
We have to just update the contracts for those, which is easy enough, swapping dates and dollars. So whenever you guys want to have those public hearings, we just want to make sure we can give the notice to the fire companies. So if they want to come and attend, you've got a pretty busy November 26th meeting, so you might want to consider that for December 10th.
Okay, 12:10. All right, can we squeeze one more in? Okay, 7.4, recommendation from ZBA Chair James Brewster for ZBA appointments. Everybody saw those, and I believe there's resolutions down below.
If I can just point out the title in your agenda, which says approving reappointment of Ed Miller. The resolution actually reappoints Ed Miller and also appoints Dan Walters to fill a vacancy on the ZBA. So the title on your agenda is a little off.
It's the same resolution.
Yes.
Do we have any discussion on that?
I guess I was a little surprised. Looks like there was some good applicants for the zoning board, and I was just curious to why, if Mr. Miller was there a little over half the time, why wouldn't he be an alternate and look for one of the candidates as one of the permanent seats? It's just a thought, just looking at this. That's why I was hoping there were two separate resolutions.
We can break them up if you want. I can quick throw one together if the board so chooses. Mr. Brewster, I know, is here if you've got questions for him.
That was my question, just looking at Mr. Brewster's letter. I was just surprised. Please.
Okay, we got 9 minutes.
So that answer is, my letter is dated in September when I made that assessment. And these applicants are just coming in now, so I hear your point. Mr. Miller is also an established member, which there's a procedure for that, which is on you for removal for cause, or because he's a full member. You can do what you want, but I'm just pointing that out.
Well, this was just a reappointment for him.
Correct. Based on
Yeah.
what I had for information in September. And then moving Mr. Walters up into the vacant membership spot, which was Mrs. Kinney's.
Which, I get, that just
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
fine.
I was just going by the information you gave me, and then after seeing the candidates, I was like, you know, there were some good candidates in there that maybe it would make sense to have them permanent, and then just do Mr. Miller's reappointment as an alternate, was my only question.
Okay, I have no comment on that.
What's with the, where does it set with the training? Because our reappointment policy for them is that we can't reappoint them if they haven't met their training requirements. So where does he sit with the training?
The last, I believe it's in the letter there, the last, or else I sent it in another one, I'm not sure, but the last I understood from Jody, and I asked her today for an update, which I have not seen yet. Mr. Walters was 1.5 credits behind as far as September goes, but so was I. And I'm unsure about, I believe at the time, Mr. Miller was still at 0 for the year. At the time, I don't know what's been updated since September, when I wrote that email.
I've got a real problem with that.
So we can table that in the
Or,
resolution
or
till
break
the
up the
next,
resolution.
Yeah.
or break it up and till the next meeting, we'll have Jody get their final numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, and we did see the applicants, so we have to put a committee together. One person from the board, plus Mr. Brewster and Jody,
For the ZBA appointments?
for the,
For the alt.
for
well,
hiring, for the applications.
Okay.
There's applications to interview.
What position are they interviewing for?
It's either
For the board or an
Board or
alternate, or
town.
both, or both? Oh, the alternate and the board? Yep.
There's actually three open positions. One is the vacant seat that was formerly held by Mrs. Kinney. The second is the expiring term for Ed Miller, which ends December 31st, and then the third would be appointing an alternate member.
So if we have to wait for the interviews, then we don't have any resolutions tonight.
No, there's resolutions.
If you, as long as you make a decision before the end of the year, then that's great. That's fine, because the terms expire December 31st. If you don't make a decision by the end of this year, that is also fine, because then Mr. Miller would hold over in his office until such time as an appointment is made.
my question, do you want to do the interviews, or do you want to wait another meeting to get the information from Jody on the training? But they still have till the end of the year to get their training.
I think we move forward with the interviews.
I would agree.
I'll be on the interview committee this time because you guys have been busy doing interviews.
So then it would be Dave and Jody and the board chairman.
Yep.
Okay.
So with that,
Now, we want to table both resolutions until you see the training records at next meeting.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
And, you know, just as far as I don't think there's anything in the policy, anything about the attendance, but the attendance portion of this is an issue to me too. So, I just think that's gotta be part of the conversation.
okay. So you want to table both?
Yes.
Okay. Can we get 7.5 in with 3 minutes, 4 minutes? There's really not much to.
I have an update for you, which would be more appropriate for an attorney-client session.
That's what I would believe.
So there is an engagement letter for Whiteman, Ostrom, and Hannah on here. If everything goes how I hope it might, then maybe we don't fully need them, but I think it's good to have them on board. But of course, this is talking with you guys about what you all want to do.
Okay, so we can do that later. How long is your highway report? All right, do the highway reports. 8.1 highway report. Oh, I thought you said it was not long ago. What? I can't, I gotta wait till 6 to. Go ahead,
You
you
can
wanna
do
do
the
your
dog
report?
report.
Yeah, do the dog report.
All right, dog report, dog control report 8.4. Anybody have any questions on that?
I reviewed it and I have no questions.
It looks good. Thank you.
Looks good? Okay, we got 8.4 out of that. What? Well, that's
No.
probably not gonna be that short. I don't know. You can't squeeze yours in, can you? You're too long.
Yeah, we only got a minute.
Discussion on it.
It's 6
Okay.
o'clock.
We got 2 minutes till 6 o'clock. We'll be doing the public hearing. So, take a break. Hurry up, hurry up. I don't care. Okay, it's 6 p.m. We're going to open the public hearings. The first public hearing is on water and sewer rate increases. At this time, we will open the public hearing. If anybody would like to speak. Any comments? Please come up to the mic if you do. I don't hear any. I don't see any. Any comments from the board? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing for the water and sewer rate increases. At this time, we are going to open the public hearing, or excuse me, we're going to continue the public hearing for the 2026 preliminary budget. If anybody has any comments or would like to speak, please come up to the mic. Okay. Just come up.
Just Allison Negus, 9 Grandview Drive. Just for, do you have any insight as to, if any, what those things would do? I know the water and sewer are separate, they're our own bills, but these other things, what they would do to our property taxes, if anything? That's my question.
What other things? I'm confused by your question.
Well, he just mentioned, what did you just mention?
Water and sewer rate increases?
No, not the water and sewer, the next.
We are now the budget, the 2026
Yeah,
budget.
the budget, is that gonna have any, the 2026 budget, is that gonna have any impact on our property taxes?
We haven't finished discussing the
Okay.
final budget yet.
Okay.
But that's a good question. There is no right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been any increase. There's none in the budget right now. We have to discuss it. Any other discussion? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing for the preliminary budget. Do you want to move back to new business? Or do you want to discuss the budget?
Go back to new business?
Okay. We're going to go back to new business. Huh? Oh, we were good. 7.5 we finished, right? Okay, so we're going to go to department reports, 8.1 highway report. Darren?
All right, so I sent in.
Sorry, did we finish 7.5?
Yes, he said we needed to go into attorney-client.
Yeah, an attorney-client session for that.
Okay. Go ahead, Darren.
So my report there, I'm not gonna go over all that stuff. Just a couple things that our yard waste program has ended officially. But we are gonna pick up leaves as best we can all the way in through, the end of November. And then that'll come to an end also. Obviously we saw our drop-off days were good. We were out twice for snow removal, salting and stuff the last 2 days, so just an update on that. If there's no questions with any of that stuff, we'll move on to some discussion items that I need to take care of today. First one, you'll see I got some budget transfers. We were going through my budget and I need to move some money within my budget lines into other lines, just to make ends meet for the remainder of the year. So I got, those are listed on that attachment that was sent. If there's any questions on that, I can answer those. As part of that, we're in the process of, with some money that I have left over, we're in the process of doing a mini bid through the state contract to replace a 20-year-old truck that is starting to, as it's in there, it says, we're starting to get some rust, starting to have some mechanical issues and stuff. So we're trying to replace that as quick as we can. And like I said, with some extra money at the end of the year, we're going to look to do that. So as soon as I get those bids back, I'm hoping to have them by the next meeting. So if I could get a resolution for that for next meeting, that'd be great. Moving on, if there's nothing with that, or we can go back when we get there. We're doing our holiday food and toy drive for the local schools again, starting soon right now, all the way until December 12th. The food drive stuff we're going to do now, that's for Thanksgiving. And then the food or the clothing and toy drive stuff is for the kids for Christmas for the schools. Drop off is there's a box in my office or in the entranceway to the town DPW Highway Garage office there. So people can drop it off anytime where our hours are open. Before I get to the addition of the floodplain one, there's something came via email. I don't know if Kevin's going to talk about it or not, but Emergency Services reached out to us, and I know it's on our agenda for future topic is our disaster plan. They're looking to get ours updated because ours has not been updated since 2013. So
right on
I know it's on the agenda, but I know now they're reaching out to ask us to where we're at with ours to update it with what we need to do. So not to put it, but I think we should do it at the beginning of the year if we can start somewhere. I have no problem trying to facilitate that as best we can to get it moving with a couple other people. But that's totally up to the board's decision. I'd also ask if we have time later on at some point to have an executive session for an employee issue within the highway department, if we can. And moving to the last one there that I do have, additional duties. We're talking about the floodplain. I know it was discussed during budget time about where we want to go with that. I've been handling that for the last 6 months. I don't have a problem with it. But I need to know where we're going to go with that going forward, because obviously duties, compensation, stuff like that, it's been very limited. But there's a lot to do with that and keeping up with what's going on. So just would like to get some help with that from the board. And I believe that's it. Sorry.
Any questions for Darren?
Is the resolution down below under resolutions, or is this one in the highway report?
The resolution for,
Approving your modifications.
that's within my mind because we did not have it set last week or last meeting to get it entered there, so we were going to discuss it and then move it down there once it got to that point, if that's correct. Nate?
Yeah, so if you guys can either take action on it tonight, or if you want to just add it to a future meeting and do it then, you can do that, but it's prepared and ready to go if you want to.
Yeah, I have no issue taking action on it tonight.
Yeah, because as you can see, my winter one has got $1,000 left in it, and I got to get some salt and sand, so that's why we're where we're at.
It would just be my suggestion to act on it tonight because of the amount of time that I get Dwayne in here. He's the one that's got to do the budget, line transfers, and
I just wanted to make sure we didn't overlook it when we got to the resolution portion.
Thank you.
okay. Any other discussion? Any questions?
None.
None.
Are you all set, Gene, or?
Yeah, no, I said
Oh,
none.
Okay,
Sorry about
I
that.
didn't hear you. All right, 8.2 DPW report. Greg.
In my report, excuse me, you'll just see two updates. One is the update on the issue at the 12A well. This is just a brief overview of what has transpired so far between 10:30 and 11:05. I'd like to thank the following staff: Rachel Smith, Stephanie Shuba, and Shahid Sledge. They worked tirelessly to stuff envelopes, went door to door, handing out notifications. So I just wanted to thank those three personally. Any questions on any of those updates?
They have done a tremendous job, fielding a ton of phone calls and a lot of people coming in.
Yes. I'll have more updates next week. I just received more today. So I'll have more.
Greg, the notice that was published.
Yep.
I know it was in various places. Is that a template that you normally use?
That is a template that the EPA and the Department of Health supplied. It's not
The
one.
beginning of that is very ambiguous.
I
When
agree.
I first read it, I have to agree with the residents that reached out to me. It looked like it was our well.
I totally agree.
But
It's
you had to
something-
use that, right?
I have to use the
He has to
templates that they
use that
provide.
template.
Yes. There's only certain things that I can remove and add to those templates.
Is there anything else we can add in the beginning of that? Because when you first read that, it is very alarming.
Yeah, I agree. There was only limited what I could add to it. There's 2 more mailers that'll be going out by the 29th as public education. So that will explain more, in more detail and better detail.
The other part of that I found confusing was that when I read through it, where it had it in parentheses, treatment only, and then I got thinking, well, did they discover it in the treatment side of things? There's gotta be something that can be done with that, because that's War of the Worlds all over.
This is what they provide me. I can remove only certain parts of it, and I can add to certain parts of it, but I can't remove the meat and potatoes of the middle parts.
I'll send you over some suggestions. You tell me if you can or you can't.
Sure.
Thank you.
I think the process would be for him to reach out to the Department of Health person with those things. But to Greg's point, 24 hours turnaround was the piece that he was also under the gun, like it had to get out.
Yep.
Are the houses that they take the tests from the same houses, or do they rotate to make the checks?
So how the sampling works is the DOH requires us to sample every 3 years, 10 homes throughout the service areas. 3 out of the 10 homes had slightly elevated limits. They are the same 10 homes we do every year, because they require me to do tier 1 homes, which are built between 82 and 86. That's what they want us to test.
Do we actually take the samples, or do the homeowners take the samples?
The homeowners take the sample. It's a first draw sample. The homeowner takes a sample when they wake up in the morning, and they take the first draw out of the kitchen faucet. That's how the sample's taken.
When are they collected?
It's between June and September.
No. When, as soon as the sample is taken, tell me the chain of custody.
Between 7 and 9 a.m.
Okay, and then you pick them up from there.
We pick them up from the homeowner, yes, as we're doing our water rounds in those areas.
Any more questions for Greg?
None.
Well, you have one more piece there?
Yes. Secondly, I offered the crew chief position internally. I received 1 application. That application was sent to Broome County, was approved. Here is my recommendation to approve Seth Messina to advance to the water and sewer maintenance crew chief at the agreed upon union rate. That is up to the town board as to what rate to offer. Nate can explain more if you'd like.
Well, Greg, we have to offer the union rate.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's the union rate. I mean, there's, first, second, third year rates.
What's the contract say?
If you'd like to have an attorney-client session about what the contract says, I'm happy to do that.
Is there a resolution for this?
No.
Okay, we'll add it to the end.
Greg, what's your recommendation? I saw the letter of recommendation, but I didn't see a time frame, and I wanted to get an idea of what you wanted to do with that.
I would like to do it ASAP, so I can get some training in. And my recommendation for the rate, is that what you're asking me as well?
No, the rate is set.
Okay. As soon as possible. That's what I'd like to see for training purposes. Get some more training under his belt, before we get into a full swing next year.
So is it, do you wanna see it in December, or do you wanna see it in January
I
one?
want to see it in December if possible with the board, yes.
Okay.
So maybe it would help, so, I assume you'll want a resolution to actually appoint Seth as the crew chief at the next meeting. And then, I don't know when your payroll cycles fall, but Jody would probably appreciate it if it started on a beginning of a payroll, and then Greg's gonna be down as maintainer as of that day, which is why Greg, I think, is saying, as soon as possible.
Secondly, on that note, is in the letter, I'd like to post the maintainer position as well, internally, see if that generates any applications.
I don't have any problem with you doing that.
I don't either.
No.
Post it.
That's all I have.
Okay, any more questions for Greg?
None.
Is
Thank
that for your report, right, questions on your report, right? So did you vet out or run the ground with the time clocks?
Yes and no. I was never instructed to order or install time clocks, so I left that up to, I spoke with the supervisor, and we were gonna have another discussion about that.
Me?
Is that fair?
Or the old supervisor?
You?
Sure.
We
We'll
discussed.
just add it to the list. It's down here, but we'll add it to the list. Yeah, that's fine, we can talk about it.
We already did,
Oh,
did we not?
plug it.
Well,
Not that I remember, what did we talk about? You can inform
Hold
me.
off, there's more important issues that.
Oh,
are-
yeah, that's what I'm getting at, there's a little bit more important issues than that right now. That's where I'm at, but I understand your concern, and, I mean, you can put somebody else in as supervisor, and they can get right on it, but I'm telling you, I don't have the time for it right now.
I don't know what the issue is with the time with the supervisor issue, because we approved it. All we need to do is tell Greg to buy him and put him in. That's
Why
it.
didn't the last supervisor do that? Why are we
I
here?
don't-
Why are we discussing it now?
Because I asked him what the update was on where they were, because we did it in June, and I haven't heard anything about it in any of his
Bingo.
reports. So I asked Greg where it was. I can't say that, I can't say anything about the conversation it was, but we had a resolution to buy them, purchase them, and that hasn't been done. So I don't want to have another conversation about it, other than telling Greg to buy them in accordance with the resolution. Do it.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Spend it.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll get with Jody to get the information, whatever time clocks you guys approved, and
I already sent all that stuff to you.
I'll get with that email and I'll get online, and we might have to wait if it's with the credit card, that's all, because of changing of names. We may have to wait a little bit of time, but either way, I'll work with Adam or Kevin to get them ordered.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you.
yep.
Okay, 8.3, Ordinance Report. Diane's not here, is she? Nope, she's sick. Anybody have any questions? I can't answer them, but.
None.
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 Okay. 8.4 we did. 8.5, Engineers Report. Alex is not here tonight. He's gonna come on the 26th. He messaged me this morning. But he did want this to be put on there, because he's approved it. It's complete. You can read his email and his letter. Any discussion about it?
Is there any reason why we wouldn't move this to the planning board? If Alex has it complete, that's the next step.
Yeah, it'd be just like Mr. Boland's last
Same
time we
thing.
did.
Except there wasn't anything attached for the project except the EAF. There was no drawings, no project information. There was a letter, there was a letter from Alex and his email, but
Yeah, attached to the, I guess would be after is the site plan. There is a site plan attached.
where?
It's
It-
the,
Is that right after the, I think it's right after the 239 review, Gene.
No.
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I have a site plan I'm looking at.
it's the letter from his attorney.
I'm sorry, yes, that's what it was from, I've adjusted sizes.
Yes.
So it should be the document titled 2025-11-6 Quinn Manor Proposed Rezoning, I
Yeah,
think.
it's in the first one, G.
And then when it's a 17-page document, when you
That's-
scroll down, you'll see it.
Yep,
Yeah, I think
it's the last page.
I will trust you that it's there, it's just not pulling up on mine. So you guys all got it, I've got something going on with mine, that's fine.
It
Really?
takes a minute to
It-
pop
it
up.
does.
It did the same thing for me, because I scrolled all the way down, then it popped up,
Okay.
but it took a minute. It's just the size of it, I think.
Okay.
All right, did we have discussion? Do you have any other
I
discussion?
have nothing to add.
No.
Do you, okay. You can do whatever, what
A
do you want to do?
motion.
Yeah, I make a motion that we move Quinn Manor proposed rezoning to the planning board.
I second.
Any other discussion on it?
I have none.
None.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
No,
Aye, aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, engineers report's done. 8.6, attorneys report.
Any questions?
Where do you sit with that, the last item on the 2025 procurements?
Yep. So Joy has sent me some backup information for hers. But I think what you're probably looking for is you don't want just you don't want just words. You probably want to see it. And so I'm gonna have to probably sit down with her and Greg and just go month by month through, I don't know, every single invoice and say to them, where was this originally procured? I think that I mentioned earlier, a meeting or two ago, that the information they'd given me had satisfied me, but what you're asking for, I'm gonna use the phrase audit of it. So that's gonna take, I think, some significant time to just go through it all like that. And it's not gonna just happen with an email back and forth between myself and Joy and Greg's folks. So it's gonna take time.
I'm just surprised by that, because if everything had been done the way that it should have been done, it shouldn't have to go back and take so much time to generate the information. So that just raises it up a little bit and concern for me that we're gonna be able to properly document that we're following our procurement policies. So
Yeah,
I understand it's gonna take time and we can move on. I just, I know the list that was given to me for 24 and 25 of all of the vendors that exceeded what their limit, what the procurement policy thresholds were. So I'm gonna be going off from that for the report.
if you can share what you were provided, that'd be helpful for me as but again, what I anticipate doing is looking at the list that Lori had given me in September, which is what I was basing my requests to Greg and Darren off of, and but using that as the jumping off point. But I think I will need to sit next to Joy and have her literally show me everything. Don't just say, oh, it was procured this way, procured that way. Like, I need to see it.
Yeah, I will forward it to to you what I was shared, but it was a correspondence that the whole board was given and you were on it, so that's all I'm
Okay.
coming off of.
Okay, don't recall when that was.
Nope, that's fine, I'll recirculate it. Okay.
Any other questions for Nate?
None.
None.
Okay, 8.7 Supervisor's Report. You saw the monthly report and financials?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions on those?
None.
Okay, and then the other two things I had on there was the Freshie. We have to do website compliance for ADA, to be compliant ADA, so the town website has to be ADA compliant.
Okay.
New law goes in effect next year, I believe by May, so we budget for next year. Jody got a quote, and it's gonna be between $4,000 to $5,000 to do it.
Yep.
It's $2,500 to set it up, and then $125 a month to maintain it.
I'm good with that.
So we're gonna have to, when we do the budget discussion, we're gonna have to add some to the line. I have the line that we need to add it to. And the other thing I had was Williamson Law Books.
Just with the cost of that, is that something that we're gonna need to do an RFP for? Or quotes?
I don't know how you would do that if our website is, what's it called?
Well, it's. you
Unless
could-
we change websites or something.
Yeah, I mean, you might consider it a professional service, you know, hosting, developing, designing a website, that type of thing. But it's also $2,500, which certainly falls below any competitive bidding requirement. I don't recall off the top of my head if this is something that requires you to get at least a verbal quote or two.
I didn't think it did.
I heard the $4,000 or $5,000. So if that wasn't what it was, I
It's
know.
$2,500
$2,500
to
for
do it, and then $125 a month.
a month.
It was the
So I-
maintenance.
Separate issue, the $2,500 is separate from the $125.
Yeah, all I was saying with
Yep.
the amount we need to add to the line, so we have it in there for next year.
Yep, got it.
And then the other thing I had was the Williamson Law Book. Apparently, we only have one user authorization to be on the actual accounting at a time. So when Adam is on it downstairs and the bookkeeper, they can't be on it at the same time, and it doesn't work. So we need to get a second user license annual contract, which is $695. Hey,
Yeah, I would say do both of them, Kevin,
I'm
please.
just, I'm adding
Yes,
to the.
please
to the-
proceed.
To the, nobody has a problem with it, then I will take it out of the contractual line for bookkeeper.
I say do
You're
it.
just gonna do it next year though, right?
I just have an issue if we put somebody in that position this year and they're trying to be trained and learned, and he's trying to do the vouchers downstairs. So that's where I have the concern, but I guess we don't really have a concern because we don't have anybody in that position right now anyway, so you're right, it'll probably be next year.
Okay.
All right, moving on to resolutions. Nate,
Resolution 9.1, approving abstract number 23.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Resolution 9.2 was, I believe, tabled by the board earlier this evening.
Correct.
Resolution 9.3, authorizing contract with Colliers. I'll note that you discussed slightly tweaking the contract in two respects. The first to update, of course, with Kevin's name as the supervisor. The second to put a hard end date for the 12-month services as I proposed November 16th, 2026. That is a Monday. So it's a year and a couple days from now. So if you are both, if you are all in agreement with those two tweaks to it, then a motion to approve the resolution as amended would be appropriate with those two tweaks.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Resolution 9.4 is actually for the November 26th meeting, so it shouldn't have been on this agenda. At that November 26th meeting, you will, of course, have your public hearing on EDU benefit assessment, so that'll be on there. 9.5 is the resolution appointing Jay Simonis as deputy supervisor. I'll note you guys did a motion for this, was that last meeting? So this is just to document your action.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
Okay.
Mr. Simonis?
Abstain.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Resolution 9.6 is the resolution approving the 2026 health insurance and dental insurance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
Did
None.
you have questions on?
Yeah, I didn't see anything come in on the MOA.
So there was none. We're going with the bronze, the same one we have now.
Okay.
We actually, we had, he came, what's his, Chuck? Chuck, right? He came in and met with the highway guys, and he met with a bunch of other people from the town, and they all had questions, and they didn't want to go with it.
Okay.
So, staying with the bronze.
Same with bronze. Thank you.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye. Adam, will you please make sure that the policy is attached to the resolution for the minutes? Because the resolution doesn't have
Okay.
the actual policy that we're approving.
Okay. Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Sorry, resolution 9.7, authorizing engagement of Whiteman Osterman Hanna for the Citizens Chenango solar lawsuit.
Should we do this now, or we?
I'm expecting that we should have that attorney-client privilege conversation first.
Sure. My recommendation will be ultimately to retain these folks to represent you in the lawsuit itself. You know, like whichever way the attorney-client session goes, we're gonna need somebody to handle this, and my recommendation is these folks.
I think we should just wait though, I think.
That's fine.
Okay, then we'll table that one.
Resolution 9.8, authorizing an increase in water and sewer rates as indicated.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
No. Greg, thank you for putting together everything that you and your team did for all the documents on that for the public hearing.
No problem, thank you.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
And then backtracking on your agenda, there were two resolutions, one in the 8.1 highway report authorizing budget modifications, and under 7.2, a resolution scheduling the public hearing on the solar moratorium. Not sure if you folks want to take action on those tonight.
I do. Can do the highway one first.
So this will be Adam Resolution 9.9 to approve budget modifications in November 2025 for the highway department.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
And finally, this would be Resolution 9.9, scheduling a public hearing on the proposed solar moratorium for December 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
What was the date?
December 10th, 2025.
December 10th.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Okay.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, future board topics.
Kevin, can I
Go
make
ahead.
a suggestion that
We got,
we do the attorney-client before we get into that? so we can finish the resolutions? I think that's fine.
Okay. What do you want to do about the budget and the other stuff?
Oh, well, we still have to have a conversation about the
Okay.
budget too, so,
Or we have to make another meeting?
right.
So, okay, so we're gonna go to open forum, because then we're gonna go into attorney-client sessions. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion or limited remarks of 5 minutes or less. The speaker shall deliver their comments or concerns in a civil tone and without the use of profanity, personal attacks, and other disruptive behavior, which may result in offenders removed from the meeting. The speaker shall not be interrupted except in a matter of urgency. If anybody would like to speak, please come up to the mic.
I just wanted to thank you, gentlemen, for the work you've done on the moratorium for the solar farms, and we look forward to attending the public hearing on December 10th. I also, I've done a fair amount of looking at your website, and you were talking about the website and doing some work on it. So I just thought I'd mention that one thing that I find confusing about the website is that under meetings and agendas, on the home page, when you go there, there's nothing posted after 2024, and you have to search a lot to try and find the upcoming meetings and agendas and minutes and all that stuff. The other thing is that it would be very helpful, I think, if you put on your home page a link to the portal, the document portal, because trying to find the text of the moratorium was not simple. It was not user-friendly. And I just think all that stuff could be a lot better on your website. I worked in communications for a lot of years and designed websites and that kind of thing. So anyway, just thought I'd mention it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak?
Steve Parmenter, 735 Road, Binghamton. I don't follow the solar projects at all, except what I hear here, but I've got an idea that might help evaluate the projects. If we had technology available to make a big clock-type display at the solar farm to publish the amount of electricity being generated daily by that facility and contributing to our grid, I think that maybe it would change a few minds, but right now it's just an installation that goes in the side of a hill, cutting all trees and creating all problems and lots of resistance. But if the people could see the result in terms of the amount of electricity being produced, that's just an idea. I'd like to see that.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Donna Russin. I think you know me because I'm chairperson for the Nimmelsburg neighborhood against the solar farm in our neighborhood. I do want to applaud you all for getting the moratorium going. I appreciate that very much, and I'm hoping that when you do the moratorium that you will have more protection in for the residents and not to have the solar farm their houses and park, and also more protection for the environment. And I was concerned when the reports were being done, Cipriani was paying for them, and I felt they were very slanted. Like the environmental one, there was no on-site. I think there should be an on-site visit. They mentioned 3 animals, and that was it. I have more than that in my backyard. And also the website, Town of Chenango website, does list the floods, and they list severe, minor, and we had some severe ones, 2011, 2021. So that just shows that we do have a flooding issue and cutting down the trees. And I did not know until I started fighting against this solar farm in my neighborhood that when you take down the trees, you're not just cutting down trees like I thought, you're actually taking the root. And that makes it really destroys the soil and the land. It's not usable for years afterwards. And of course, that's gonna cause flooding and, you know, we already have a water infrastructure problem. So I'm looking forward to seeing the new moratorium and voting the open discussion December 10th. And I thank you all for your help.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, everyone. Just some constructive criticism to the board. I think it's real important to have a full staff in the town, okay? You guys were interviewing, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 3 out of 6 showed up, I believe. Is that accurate? Okay. Kevin, you must have a lot of time in your hands because I think that, you know, you walked into a lot, and I think the board members or board members should be more in a hurry to maybe, you guys took the time, you interviewed the people that showed up, and it's a different day and age in hiring, okay? There used to be a day that sign would go out for a week. I remember that. A week, tops. It'd come back, you know, you had applicants, you hired somebody, that was the process. You might as well get some run flats for that thing, or put that on a permanent, you know, footer, because it hasn't left that spot in, I don't know, Greg, how long have you been, you know, advertising for positions? You need to do something different. Clearly what is being done is not working, okay? The days of finding a unicorn that's gonna come in here is over. Get creative. You know, if you have somebody that can get lined up, I mean, you know, procedure's not working, clearly, okay? And Kevin, I think it's important that you have the support. You have a lot there. It's a bad time with the budget, and I think it's important. I don't think things like that should be tabled or no, get it going. You guys took time out of your time. You know, you guys took time out of your days to interview and to pick the right applicant. And you know, 3 out of 6 is bad math. Okay, where I come from usually. So I just wanted to share that, and that goes across the town, across the board. It goes to the DPW department, it goes to the water, sewer. I mean, something needs to change. I know you're handicapped with the unions, but I just want to voice my opinion. I see the signs, I sit at the meetings, I know how long it takes to hire somebody. You're just offering, so they might say no, and you can move on. Come on, start flipping some stones and doing something different, because the process that you're doing isn't working. Okay? So that's all I have to say, and I wish you the best success. And I think it's important that this town has enough employees to do their job and to support the board members and to support every person in the building. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? Okay. We're going to move on. Attorney-client. Is that, can we do it from all?
This can be an executive session concerning pending litigation.
I was wrong.
Because that's what it is. Was there a motion to do that?
Motion for executive session for the discussion on the proposed counsel to represent us in the assessment lawsuit.
And the pending lawsuit itself. So, right.
Okay, and the pending lawsuit.
Second? Oh, aye. Are we going to do a roll call or aye?
Mr. Smoes?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Okay. we just let them know that we are gonna have a discussion on the budget afterwards.
Okay, if, we are going into executive session, but when we're done, we're gonna still have discussion on the budget and future topics before the end of the meeting. Just so you know, so no one's blindsided.
Aye.
Mr. Halbert? Mr. Ward?
Aye.
that was the 3 out of 6 showed up. So Chris was correct, and there's no interest in the board seat? Okay. No, I didn't know his name. So he's in. Yeah, okay, for deputy. Okay, I lost track. Well, I told Diane, it's like the revolving door up there. The last 2 or 3 years, it's just, well, I was on the advisory board 10, 15 years.
back in. Anybody like a? Anybody like to make a motion? Or oh, wait, yeah.
It was Resolution 9.7, authorizing engagement of Whiteman, Osterman, Hanna for Citizens Chenango solar lawsuit.
So moved.
Any discussion?
None.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert? Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, where do you want to go next? Want to go to the budget? Okay, preliminary budget. We have a mistake in it, so we need to correct that first. Unless I am wrong, but I believe we have the salt shed in there twice. So this is in general fund, under buildings. I am on page 3. Yep, page 3 at the bottom, 1620.403. We created a new line there and added 725,000 to it, which from my notes was for the salt shed. What?
Where is it the second time?
The second time is on page 5 in the general fund under actual salt shed A 410.200, where we had that line added. I just want to make sure that that contractual line in buildings was not for, we didn't put anything in there for the vestibule, did we? That's where I'd need Gene's notes. No, we didn't. So then that is a mistake then. That got put in there twice, so we need to. Because the line at A 410.200 was the actual salt shed grant line, and we put 560 in there, which was incorrect. It should have been 725,000. The actual grant money is 560, and we have to come up with the rest. So there's 560,000. That's what, yeah. So.
That you?
It's actually not me. I forgot to turn mine back on.
So you want me to go over that again?
No, I heard you.
Yeah,
Dave,
yeah.
Dave asked.
So on page 3 at the bottom in buildings, A 1620.403, it's a new line we added for 725,000. That line needs to be removed. And on page 5, salt shed grant, A 410.200, it's about almost towards the bottom. That line needs to change from 560 to 725. So basically there's a decrease in the appropriations of $560,000 in the general.
So where do you want to keep it? Do you want to keep it on page 5 under salt shed because of the description?
I would think it'd be fine to keep it underneath there.
Yeah, but you're right. We did add that. That's a new line item. Okay.
So A 1620.403 is gonna come out.
I'm just gonna delete the
Yes,
line.
because
Take
that was the
line
new
out.
one we created.
We're gonna remove that line,
And then you're going to correct.
and then we're
You're going to correct line A 410.200 to reflect 725.
Yep.
Okay.
that'll go from the 560 to 725.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're good with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, other one I have is revenue. So, if you look at, so Darren, I guess, all right, we can start with revenue with sales tax money. The original tentative budget had we had 3.2 million that we lowered. We had 3.29, $398.
Which page are we on?
So this is revenues.
Yep.
Page 1 of, all I'm explaining is that when Mike and Lori made the tentative budget, they gave 200,000 to highway from sales tax. Darren has a balance of 205,000 in his budget right now. If his budget stays the way it is, which I don't see any changes in his budget, and he's doing a 2% increase on his tax, his amount that it's listed under fund balance is 205,459. If we take that 200,000 back that was given to him in the tentative, we can take that back to our sales tax revenue where it should be.
Okay.
And he remains with a $5,459 balance, basically, that he
balanced.
needs to put in another line. We have to balance that line out.
Mhm.
So he's gonna have to put that in another line. But, so we could bring that tax revenue from 2,500,000 that we lowered it to 2,700,000.
Okay.
So we will increase our revenues there. But I can find, those lines are A1120 in the general revenue. It's gonna go from 2,500,000 to 2,700,000. And then in the highway revenue, it's gonna be line DA1120 is gonna decrease from 900,000 to 700,000.
Okay.
So, and the only other thing I have is, on that is, are you comfortable with where we have the sales tax revenue right now? Because just a little explanation, I had to certify the annual financial report for 2024, which should have been certified, but it wasn't completed, so I sat with Dwayne and we did it. And one of the red flags that was brought up by the comptroller's office was our revenue increase from the adopted budget to the modified budget. And the majority of that is sales tax. Some of it was interest, some of it was ARPA, but the majority of it was sales tax, underestimating the sales tax. I'm just throwing it out there. You saw the numbers I gave you. I updated this sheet.
Yep.
So I would doubt that fourth quarter is going to come in 900,000 or more. I doubt it's going to come in less than that. But
That's still gonna reflect the 2025 numbers.
that's going to reflect the 2025 numbers.
Right.
Did the controller say what percentage we should increase it to, or he just said, just watch out, guys?
No, they don't say anything like that. They just, it pops up when you do, it pops up as a flag. You have to explain why your revenues are 20% more. Why all of a sudden, why didn't you know that it was gonna be 20%? And I guess if you keep doing it continuously, yeah, something's gonna be like, okay, why are you doing this? But I know you can't base. Can you go to 2,900,000? I don't know. Is it worth it?
where it's worth it, so the 80% of the sales tax is what, I went back and looked at what we were looking at, what was projected as a crystal ball, here's we're gonna get $1 million. So we project 80% of that as being reasonable. So that's fine, I don't.
I'm
Yeah,
bringing
no,
it
I-
up, so
Yeah,
just
so
this discussion.
I'm good with having it lower like it is.
2,2,700,000.
Yep,
Okay. Because I mean, with his being 700,000, you're at 3,400,000.
3,400,000 for,
2026.
of what has to be raised by taxes.
No, sales tax.
Oh.
Revenue, sales tax revenue,
I'm
because
sorry,
Darren
that-
gets a share of the highway gets a share of the revenue.
Yes, sorry, that was just
No, I'm
coincidence,
just-
that number, 3.4 million is what I was looking at on the first page of
Oh,
what,
okay.
of what we have to raise by taxes. That's all, to balance it. Okay.
Nope, so,
The only question I've got about the $200,000 taking it back is that balances the highway budget. But are you using any fund balance to balance? So whatever fund balance, because the fund balance for the highway is also part of the process for the budget process. Like you've gotta use fund balance to pay debt or reduce the tax. I mean, it's the same process for that. So if you don't have fund balance,
No, I'm not planning to use any fund balance right now, and I still have with a positive 5,000 roughly he gives, which I can allocate that in another line. For me already, I've projected where to put that already.
But what is your fund balance?
I am going to figure off of where it was starting last year.
Yeah.
So, or starting in 2025 was 600,000 in my unallocated funds. I don't really have a fund balance. I have a savings and a checking. Mine's totally separate than the way it's done in the general. And I've got to watch how I say about it because I don't have a true fund balance. I have a savings and a checking. I have unallocated funds in a savings account that are $600,000 right now where I'm sitting just in case we ever had an emergency.
I understand.
That's where I'm at, and that keeps me below my threshold of what we talked about for the procedure or the policies for fund balance versus using it.
so
But I can't tell you what I'm gonna end at this year because until the end of the year goes, so my figures have to go on where I'm at right now.
I understand, but as it is right now, the highway fund unallocated fund balance, you're required to reduce that to 50%
Of my
of the fund balance amount.
of my budget,
Nope.
of what my budget is.
You have to do that, you have to do that in this process, the budget process. So you need to know what it is now. If it was, I'm just using the number you gave at the beginning of the year, at 600,000,
Right.
you have to put $300,000 of it, you have to allocate it. So it's not unexpended. So right now, what Jay's asking you is what is your fund balance at right now? Because that, you have to reduce it to 50% of what it is right now.
I thought it was 50% of what the actual budget
No.
was if we had it above that. It's not my total fund, because if I go to
Right.
300,000, if I have an emergency and I put 300,000 allocated it somewhere else, now it only leaves me with 300. We didn't do it that way last year, because
No, no.
was at the same last year when we did this, and that was the discussion we had.
No, I understand.
So I'm
And
confused.
You're not, we're saying the same thing, but you don't know what that number is, so I don't know what that number is compared to what your budget is. So I don't know if you have to allocate any of it or not.
So my
But he has a
my
fund
appropriated
balance.
budget is $2.1 million for next year.
I'm sorry, say it again?
2.1 million is my projected budget for next year,
Okay,
my appropriations. So I'm well below the 50% of the 2.1 million at 600,000. Right, because it's half of my appropriated funds for next year, my full budget. So half of 2.1 would be as if I'm over 1 million, I would have to use whatever to get under that. So I'm at 600, I'm nowhere near that 1 million yet.
Okay.
Is that making, does that, am I understanding the same thing?
Yes.
Did I explain it to, okay,
Yes.
okay. So yes, I don't have to allocate any of that amount of money then right now.
Okay. So if you've got fund balance left, you just don't know exactly what that number is,
Correct.
then I don't have any concern about taking the $200,000 back out of the highway fund and putting it back into general.
And
So
I,
I'm good.
and I agree 100% because we were talking about this, me and Kevin had a conversation with this, just so, because he did, and I agreed, I even said that right from the get-go, looking at where the general was in doing this. I can do what I'm doing with my budget the way I'm at, with the 2% increase, the extra 5,000 added into my budget line, that I can tell you what budget line when you want it, where I'm gonna add that extra money into, so that you know, and then we can move on. Then I'm completely done, hopefully, with my budget completely.
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
No, that,
So I need that, so we can balance your line out. We took the 200,000 out of it, but the $5,459.38. If you have a line to put that to,
I do.
give it to me.
If you can put it under machinery,
Yep. What's that?
contractual 5130.400, which we had proposed for 110,000, so we'll make that 115 and change. Please,
So it's 5,000.
just because that's the mechanics contractual with buying parts and all that stuff, and the price of that going up.
So it'll be $105,459.38.
No, it'd be 115,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, you had 110.
There was 110 in there,
Okay.
so it'd be up to whatever the 115 and whatever the remainder was, sorry.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes,
And that will zero his,
yes.
yes.
he'll be zeroed out, so Greg,
Thank you.
so you have a $1,342.57 operating water. God, I can't think of the,
8320.4.
okay. 8320.4,
Yes.
what is it?
Source of supply. Contractual. So go towards
Contractual.
chemical.
Does anybody have a problem with that? That'll balance his water out.
I'm fine with that.
And then to balance your sewer out, you have a $7,799.26 to balance your sewer out.
You created a chemical line. We'll add it to that. I don't remember what we called it, you called it. You separated out
Yeah,
chemical
we,
collection, treatment, disposal.
yeah, but the chemical line was 8130,402.
Add it to that.
That was page
Hold on.
1.
What is it?
8130,402. It's at the bottom of page 1.
Seven seven 9926. All right, that takes care of water and sewer. The rest of it, the special districts are balanced out. So it's gonna be general fund. So we're just over 1 million. Cause we got 560,000 back from the salt shed and, was it 200 from Darren? Sorry, I knew it was. No, you're good.
How much of that number, Kevin, is the unexpended fund balance? Is that,
That is it'd be 1.1 million, correct? Because you're only raising $186,707 from taxes. That's a 0% tax increase.
Did you say our pickup was 700 and,
What?
760, was that our pickup?
700, yes, 760.
Or 7?
So I'm,
that 760, is that the 725, and
No.
then the difference between the 560 and the 725?
yes, so it's basically 560,
Yep.
and it's 200,000 from Darren.
Yep.
So it's,
Got it, yep.
Yeah,
that
so
brings us down to 1.1 million.
And
I thought it was almost 1.3. Am I looking at the wrong number here? We have appropriations of 6079151,
Yep.
and we had a pickup of 760, which would bring us to 4791233. Oh, I don't think I didn't add in, amount raised by tax. I did not add that in there. Yep, 1.1.
1.1, $101,211.03
Did not put the tax money in.
is where we're at now.
Yep.
Do you want to understand where most of that's coming from?
Absolutely.
So, 104,000 of it is employee health insurance. We increased a bunch of lines. We increased the town and board equipment line, 18,000 for sound equipment, which can be a fund balance expenditure. Public accountant, we increased to 22,000. We increased payroll processing to up 5,000, but that's needed. Created a new line for MS4 mapping for 20,000. Buildings contractual, we increased it by 100,000. A lot of stuff falls under that. Time clocks are gonna fall under that.
well, that's a 20, that won't, because that's 25 cost.
That line's under.
Oh.
We'll correct it. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
whole
that's
nother
a-
story, but I'm just saying, so. And then we increased the records management equipment
Mhm.
line, $49,500.
How much was that?
Well, there was $500 already in the line. We increased it to 50,000, so we increased it by $49,500.
Was that,
It was records management equipment, A1630-200. There's also
then
Rec-
100,000 for the scanning portion?
records management contractual.
Got it.
We
Yep.
created a new line, and it's 100,000,
Yes, okay.
which all could be a fund balance item. I'm looking at fund balance as like one-time purchase or one-time things that we're doing in 2026. I'm not looking at anything going forward, salaries or anything that's burden or anything like that. We can't use fund balance for. We could, but it's not appropriate.
Right, but for the budget portion of it, the reason I was asking about what's in the budget right now for allocation of the fund balance, or for what we're using for fund balance, I thought that was the 1.8 million.
It is. So
Okay.
once you take away the 760,000 that we just recreated more revenue by taking away the salt shed
Yep.
And then increasing the 200,000 there, and it brings our unexpended, or our fund balance to 1.1 million.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so,
So that's where we're at with
okay.
fund balance.
And I apologize again for my misunderstanding what that 1.1 was, because I was looking at the cover sheet that goes back to 1.1. So I'm sorry, Kevin, but I'm
No,
just
that's all right.
following things. So you're at 1.1 on the unexpected fund balance. And in accordance with our fund balance policy, where we sit right now,
Mhm.
the differential between the number of what we have to shed is 2,047,000.
Okay.
And we're only using 1.1 of it.
No.
Which,
I'm not questioning, arguing with that at all.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, yep, I understand right where you're going.
so if,
There's still
use
more
it-
lines that we need to add a few more things to.
but this is basically, right now, it's balanced.
It's balanced, where we can, with no tax increase for the town general tax.
Right, so if we put the rest of the fund balance, which is 900,000, to debt, or to a fund, appropriate to a capital improvement fund, that gets us to where we are, because we don't have to use anything more than that for keeping the taxes at zero. And I'm saying it that way because the three things that we can use our fund balance for is to apply it to debt, create a reserve fund, or balance the following year's budget. And I would suggest when we finalize our numbers with the final budget, we use that $900,000 that I'm seeing right now as a reserve fund number instead of debt, because we really don't have, I don't see a benefit to the debt.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
the only other line item I think that needs to be increased is the website for the ADA compliant.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, because that's yeah.
So,
Which is line 8A in the 1680.402.
so you're gonna increase that by $4,500?
Yeah, you can, I would say 5.
That's fine.
I think we maybe even visit a new website publisher or some company. I think maybe go out for some quotes and look into it. There's a lot of complaints about the website. So.
If you're gonna do that, then take it to 15, because you're gonna spend about 10 for a website.
Yeah, I was just
Or
about to
5
suggest
for
that, because
this.
the comment previous
Well, it's-
from a
yeah.
citizen, I agree. When I first went there, I encountered the same issues she did. So I would definitely be on board
So
with
that's
that.
website development. We had 3,500 in there. What do you want to take it to?
Take it to, add 10,000 to it.
So 13,000.
You think that'll be enough?
I do,
I-
but we're
Okay.
budgeting, so
All right.
15.
15, please.
15,000.
I don't wanna do line item adjustments.
Okay. So that takes. Do we need to add that Williamson to a line going forward?
I'd like you to do that this year.
Yeah. Okay, we can take care of that. We're gonna have to, once we get
$700.
this done, we're gonna visit all the lines and balance. We're gonna have to do some line adjustments before the end of the year, so. Okay, we'll take care of that this year. I think there's something. No, I just wanna make, cause we have to adopt this tonight, correct? Unless we're gonna do a special meeting?
Unless you do a special meeting,
What's the date that it has to be adopted by?
November 20th.
November 20th.
I have Dwayne coming in on Monday, the 17th, to make these changes. You can adopt the budget tonight with the changes,
Correct.
and then I can have him change the budget.
Except we have, because these are already set.
Or you can do a meeting after this, between the 17th and the 20th.
Oh, this is the preliminary that we're gonna,
This is preliminary right now. We're
so,
gonna go,
okay, so we don't need the resolutions unless we're doing them from the preliminary to the final.
that's what we're doing.
No, this is the final?
We're making the
What
final.
you guys are discussing is making a final budget. So the preliminary budget, you close your preliminary budget hearing. Now you can adopt whatever you adopt as the final budget. You have to do that by November 20th. If you don't intend on having another meeting between now and then you need to adopt the budget tonight as, with the changes discussed as the final budget.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think the changes are excessive.
Well, you have to pick a reserve line. You have to do, if you want to do that, we have to allocate that
For
rest of that
the
fund
the
balance.
balance to, yeah.
Or-
We need to do that before the end of the year. The reserve fund number,
You are correct,
so,
because that is not really included in the adopted budget.
right. So we have December, we have
Yeah,
next
two-
meeting and December
So that
10th.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you do have two
That's
meetings.
fine. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 changes.
Yeah.
And the resolution would have to stipulate each one of the
Yep.
line items with what the final is, and then adopt the final budget that we have to do tonight.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah,
It's on you. How do you guys
Yes.
want to do? You want to do that tonight, or do you want to have another meeting?
I think we do it tonight.
I have no issue with doing it tonight. It's just gonna have to be an ad hoc resolution that we gotta list it, that's all.
So, I think it'd just be a resolution approving the 2026 final budget. You've reviewed the preliminary budget after opening a public hearing on November 6th, 2025, continuing it on November 12th, closing said public hearing on November 12th, and determine that adoption of the same with the following changes as the 2026 final budget is appropriate. And then, Kevin, what are the changes?
Remove, you want me to
Yeah, go slow, I'll type them.
remove A 1620.403 with a reduction of $725,000. Yes. Add an increase to line A 410.200 to 725,000. So,
Increased by 700.
no. It's increased.
560.
560 to 725,000. There was 560 in that line. I just didn't have it written out the way I know you want it. Ready?
Yep.
Reduce line DA 1120 from 900,000 to 700,000. Increase A 1120 from 2,500,000 to 2,700,000. Increase line 5130.400. Oh, this is Darren, sorry. DA's. DA 5130.400. Increase the line increase it by $5,459.38. Hold on.
Do you know what the number is you're increasing it from what to?
It's 110,000 in the line right now.
Okay.
You're gonna increase it to 115,459.38. 59.38. Now I gotta find these next ones. These are Greg's and the, okay, the next one's F. Okay, so increase line F8320.400. We're gonna increase. We're gonna increase it by $1,342.57. Anybody wanna do that math real quick? There's $199,550 in there now.
199,550?
Yep.
What am I reducing?
No, you're increasing it by another $1,342.57.
1,000, what'd you say,
$342.57.
Brings you to 200,892.57 cents.
Okay. And then line G, 8130.402. You're going to increase the line by $7,799.26, giving you a total in that line of $87,799.26.
What's the front number?
Front number is 80,000.
80,000 flat?
Yep, 80,000 increased by $7,799.26.
And the very first one, A 1620.403, it's being reduced from 725,000 to 0.
Yeah, we're just going to remove the line, but you can, yeah, put it to 0. And the last one, line A 1680.402 is going to increase from $3,500 to $15,000.
Greg, will you pull the last RFP for the website? Just as a, when we get into that for next year.
Good? You want to check?
Did you do the $200,000 out of highway?
Yes.
Okay.
Reduce that line to 0. A 410-200, 560 to 725. DA 1120 reduced from 900,000 to 700,000. A 1120 increased from 2.5 million to 2.7 million. DA 5130-400 increased 110,000 to 115,459.38. FA 320.400 increased from 199.50 to 20,892.57. G 13402. You went from 80,000 to 87,000 and 168402. 35. Yep. That looks good to me.
Where do we have to note the correction to that fire district budget?
I'm not aware of any correction in the fire district, so.
It was one of the things I brought up at the last meeting for the 25, and then it brought it up in comment two today. The adopted budget, modified budget numbers were,
I cannot answer to that. I tried, I looked, but I cannot answer to that, why that is like that.
I guess it's not so much just
But if you look at the expenditures for this year, it is the modified budget, that's the amount that they got. Correct?
I guess what I'm Kevin, is that in the adopted budget number was in there incorrect. And it's not an issue to me as to how or why, it's just noting that it was incorrect.
I don't have my. Is it incorrect? Is that we adopted in the 2025 budget?
Yeah.
I know, I don't have mine with me.
No, I've got the certified 25 budget.
What is the?
25, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So what is the number for the 2025 budget? Is it the 325 or is it 331?
331.
331,
So I have no idea why that 325 is in there.
I understand that, and
Yeah.
it's not an issue. I just, somewhere in our records for this, we need to note that that's incorrect. I don't know how you change it or not, or if it's just a notation.
Yeah,
There-
but I think you just make a notation. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that.
Where do you want to make the notation? Do you want to make the notation in the resolution?
I think that that's fine.
Okay, because this is not, I don't know how he's going to change it in here.
I don't know either, and if he can, I think that that's the best place for the final budget to
I
reflect that
can
number.
ask him to,
Yeah, but if you can't, it's a notation.
it's just a notation. The only thing it's showing is the percent change is a different amount than, because the proposed budget percent change goes off of the adopted amount, not the modified amount.
Yeah.
That's why it's showing an 8% instead of like a 6% or something.
Right, but that's also part of the error, because it's going back to the 325 and not the 331.
Correct, it's just on the percentage part.
Right.
Yes.
So if Dwayne can't change it from 325 to 331 in the software so that the final budget shows that number, then at least it's in the record for the resolution that line item for
Exactly.
SF1,
Yep.
the
Put it in
correction.
Well,
Yeah.
I will question that, but I can't guarantee you if that can be changed.
So what do you note? What do you want it to
Ready,
note?
line, it's in Fire District 1, line SF1 dash 3410.41. The adopted budget 2025 line should read, how do you want it worded? It shows $325,436, but it should read $331,944.72. I don't know how you want to word that.
So just in the, well, let me show you.
Show me. Note that the adoption line should read through, yeah, that's fine with me. That's exactly what they.
Looks great. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you want to do that resolution?
Well, I read most of it, and then we just went through all of it. So at this point, I think you could do a resolution approving the 2026 final budget, as proposed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
Mr. Simonis,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert,
Aye.
Mr. Warden.
Aye. Okay, any other discussion on, before we get to future topics? What time is it?
7:40.
I only had a few more things, but we have a 12:24 meeting, Christmas Eve meeting.
Mhm.
What do you want to do? Because if we cancel, like, we got to give a notification ahead of time, correct? If we're changing that meeting or canceling it?
I won't be available for that meeting.
I won't
So,
either.
We can reschedule or cancel, but cancel is my suggestion.
What would you guys like to do? If the only way to reschedule it would be,
No,
because you can't do it afterwards, because that's the 31st. So you're not going to do it then. So, we have one on the 10th. Okay, cancel it?
cancel.
Do we need to make a motion to cancel that?
You should.
Make a motion to cancel the town board meeting on December 24th at 5 PM.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Mr. Simonis.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Hulbert.
Aye.
Mr. Warden.
Aye. Are we supposed to talk about the PFAS or payment thing? No, it's not PFAS, it's the other one, right?
It's the lump sum, so the settlement amount for the PFAS litigation, you can either choose to accept it as a lump sum payment
Yes.
with a discount on what you're entitled to receive over however many years the payouts were scheduled for. But yeah, if you want to accept it, then the board will need to take action. I don't remember the deadline that they gave in that.
Did everybody see that email?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
We could put it on another agenda.
I think it's a short conversation. We can have it next meeting.
If we should be just checking on the date to make sure. I think we, hold on.
I don't see
I
a
didn't see a
deadline.
date in there.
Okay.
And thinking about it, this is, I mean, it looks like it's the Napoli firm's own LLC. It's offering to buy this stream of payments. It's one of those like, it's my money and I want it now. So they'd probably be fine pushing it to another meeting.
All right, we'll do that for 11/26 then. Last thing I have is I've been contacted by the United States Postal Service again about putting a post office up in Castle Creek. They're really interested in the town's land, leasing the town's land up there. If it's leasing the land to put a modular in or leasing the building that's across the street that the town uses for storage now. So I don't know how you guys want to pursue that, but they continuously contacting me that they say they are going to put a post office in Castle Creek. And they would really like to work with the town on it, so.
Didn't they say last time we were responsible for any kind of oil leaks and stuff, or environmental cleanup?
Yeah.
That's why we delayed it or something.
Yeah, and they had problems with access to the site. They had the subsurface sewage system. It was on a small triangle piece of property, and there was parking issues and stuff like that. It just got to be a cluster. I think that before I want to hear anything, I want to see what they're proposing instead of just
I was gonna ask what the proposal was.
Okay, so do you want me to, because they've been contacting me, do you want me to contact them back and say, give us a proposal, exactly what you want to do, and I'll bring it to the town board?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I'll do then. That's the easiest way to do it. Just wanted to check with you guys, because they keep contacting me. and I
What
didn't-
parcel was it?
It was the one right next to the
Now they're interested in across the street at the park. where
highway garage.
The
That's where it was.
where we have the windows boarded up, the building is in really bad shape.
Mhm.
But they're interested in that building. I don't know if we could work with them on replacing that building and leasing part of it out to them. I don't know.
All right, let's see the proposal.
I know.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Let them throw a proposal at us. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it. Future topics. Interviews for councilman positions, council person position. 11/26.
Yep.
Bookkeeper suggestion update on 11/26.
Yep.
The PFAS payment schedule for Napoli, 11/26.
Yes.
We have the EDU hearing on 11/26.
So there will be a resolution to approve the EDUs on 11/26 also. I just want to add, just make sure there's a spot for the resolution as well.
Okay.
And if I could get a resolution spot for that purchase of the truck to award that I spoke about.
Sure.
Just a resolution holder spot, thank you.
Then you're gonna have like all the paperwork and stuff to Jody and for it, right?
Yeah, because the deadline for it is this Friday, so
Mhm.
we'll have everything to her before, yep, all
Okay.
that'll be with it.
We need, we tabled a couple of resolutions for the ZBA.
So do you want to put those back out, or how do you want to do that?
They gotta schedule interviews, right?
I don't know if the interviews will be done by then, but yes, I assume they will be.
Do you want to put the resolution on the 10th, on December 10th, and the next meeting I can get whatever information Jody has on training and everything else, and if you do interviews or start interviews, you can,
Yeah.
Was there
Can
any
have a
reason not to
discussion
start
on
the
Just have an
interviews?
update at the next meeting.
okay.
Yeah, there's no reason not to start the interviews, right?
Whatever Jody sets them up.
I'll have Jody call you tomorrow or get a hold of you, and she'll set them right up.
Okay.
Christmas Eve.
Okay, we got just shy of a month to get them all done.
The interviews?
Yeah, 'cause our meeting is on the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have, I don't know, anybody have anything else?
The work rules are still on the 10th?
I think all of the January reorg resolutions were asked to be on the 10th. I know
Yes.
Jody, I think, is planning to put all those together in draft form to go over them with you. And that would include the work rules. We better get them together. Well,
And then,
I don't know, the planning board approved the Bolin rezone, gave it a favorable advisory, so it's coming back to us, so I don't know if that'll be on the next meeting or the 10th, I don't know, so I just was notified of that today. Right, correct? You
Say
were-
that again.
Well,
The Bolin rezone was at the planning board last night and was,
yes, and they recommended approval of the, adopting of the PDDR2.
so if if they get it to us for the agenda for next week, the next meeting for us to have, then we can have it on the 10th.
but do we have a 239 review? Because we need the 239 review.
No, that's something Alex and I talked about. We're gonna follow up and make sure they get out, this week. You guys have to hold a public hearing on it, and probably at this point, planning your public hearing either December 10th or your first meeting in January.
Should be the 7th.
So should it be on the next agenda for discussion?
Yes, to
Update.
decide when to schedule the public hearing. And that would also be an opportunity for you, if you want to invite Mr. Boland to your meeting on November 26th. If you guys have any questions for him about his proposal, you know, if you have any modifications that you might want him to make to his project, you know, that would be a good opportunity to do that.
We also have RFP discussions for the professional services.
Yes, yeah, I forgot about those. So 11/26 on those?
Yep.
Okay.
Hardware upgrades for the camera system.
That is, just you talking the storage?
Yes.
Yes, that's already in process.
Okay.
We moved the money wasn't moved, so we moved the money to the account per the resolution. Put
Okay.
fund balance in there, and we had to put half of it down for him to buy the equipment,
Got it.
and then when he gets the equipment, he'll let us know. So
Okay.
that's in progress right now.
And, if
Oh,
Greg, in your next report, can you give us an update on where the secure vestibule project is at, the design and everything on that? That's all I have.
We had cybersecurity on the 10th, I believe. So that's not the next meeting.
Is somebody coming for
Yes.
that? Okay.
I think we pushed it to the 10th. I'll make sure on the, because we thought the EDUs might take a little bit, so. All right, any more future topics? So my other,
The only one I have would be undermine what I talked about with the floodplain and stormwater. If we want, I mean, I don't wanna push it, but if we can do it before the first of the year, get moving, so we know which route we wanna take. And have more of a discussion on the 10th is fine if it December works, but just to not forget about that portion, so. What route the board wants to take.
what do you want, on the 10th or the 26th, or?
Whichever's the lightest, I would hope.
How about we see where we are at the next meeting on which one I don't think it's a big conversation.
Okay. Do you want me to, if it looks like we're light, do you want me to add it to that meeting?
Yeah.
If it looks like we're heavy, do you want to just push it to the 10th? Okay, that's what we'll do. Any other future topics?
There was a request that Darren had for a conversation with the board.
Yes, executive session?
Well,
What about the,
I don't know. We can't really schedule an executive session. We
No.
can schedule the topic.
but I'm also, what about the FOIL appeal?
Oh, I forgot about the FOIL.
What?
We gotta, I don't know.
You should be deciding that FOIL appeal tonight, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What about the FOIL appeal?
Yeah, that wasn't even on here.
Greg also mentioned hiring Seth as the crew chief for probably your December 26th meeting.
Yeah. Put it on the 26th. Yep.
We don't need that. It rates the rate.
Well, I think you do need it.
Why?
The rate's the rate, and we'll see if the union agrees with what we say the rate is.
Okay. Okay, what do we need to do with the FOIL appeal?
You have to decide whether to grant it or not. So the request was for video. Adam denied it because the video is no longer in existence. This gentleman has appealed it.
We don't have it. It's not a record that the town has. We can't provide it. I want to phrase that as a question. Is that, I understand that the town does not have it as a record that we can provide. Is that accurate?
That is my understanding from Adam, who has spoken with TrueView, who has indicated that the video records requested were overwritten as part of the normal, 30-day, it stays on and it gets overwritten process.
Do we have that in writing from TrueView? Adam, did you?
So how do we provide something we don't have?
That's I think, the point. So he's appealed it, so you have to make a decision on whether to grant his appeal or not, and the information we have is we cannot grant his appeal because the records just don't exist. So you would do a motion to deny his appeal because the records do not exist.
I'll make a motion to deny the appeal based on the records for the video do not exist.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
None.
No, but that goes,
Is that what the appeal is only for?
Right. I mean, that's what the FOIL request was for.
yes.
Okay, so the appeal is just on the video.
I just don't have the document that Adam sent. So I
Nate.
It's the requested video from,
Yeah, thank you.
certain date to another date. Don't remember the dates exactly.
The request was for all outdoor video
Video
footage from 6/1 to 9/10.
Right.
And the video doesn't exist.
It does not exist today.
What does that mean, it doesn't exist today? Is it gone? Is it, it's permanently
overwrite it.
overwritten?
Overwritten every
Overwritten.
30 days. There was a resolution to hold them for 60 days, but that was never done.
I believe Adam included in his report to you the email correspondence with TrueView, showing, when those correspondence were, the request was made to TrueView, and eventually their response back.
So now it's 60 days?
As soon as we finish
We
the
never-
purchase
yeah.
of it. We're in the process of doing that right now. As soon as that is implemented, it'll be 60 days. But any other discussion on this one?
Hang on a second. I'm just reading the TrueView response. So at the time that TrueView responded, it was 9/16.
Right, it was already past the requested dates, right?
Right. 9/10 was
And
gone
that was
as of
on the
that day.
21st, right? And that was already past that. Says that our hard drive space only goes back to 9/16.
Yep. Okay, that answered the question that I asked. So thank you. Thank you, Adam. I don't have any further discussion.
Okay.
Mr. Simonis?
To deny.
To deny, yeah, okay. Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay.
So who's, I know that you said that the hardware is being purchased and being installed, and could you just let us know at the next meeting, like what the schedule is for that?
Yep, so
Okay.
so after tonight, the check will get sent out. That's how far behind we are. Because I believe that's where, you know, we had to wait to get the money, the line money transferred. I couldn't send the money out to them until we had money in that line, because there was no money left in that line. So the checks, we okayed the checks tonight, so they will go out tomorrow morning, correct? Or they'll go out the next day or two,
Okay.
so.
And
And once he gets it, I'll get ahold and see how long it takes.
all right. And Dave, I had on my notes that you wanted to have a voucher discussion.
Sometime.
Okay. Not in the next couple meetings?
Correct.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
All right, you want a motion to adjourn? Do we need any other executive sessions or anything, or everything's set? No? Motion to adjourn?
Aye.
He said so moved, you said second, so, Gene said so moved, you said second. Aye.
Aye.
My days are numbered, buddy.